We are here with Ian Miner, the great, as
Stop it.
suggested we use. So we're having trouble coming up with a specific title for Ian, but Ian is the man behind brands like Working From. So Gio has, if you're watching us on video, has a photo of the Hoxton in Chicago behind him. I think that's Chicago anyway. It could be London. And Noah House. And Ian will walk us through exactly what he's up to. But he said if we had to summarize it, he helps founders that are in early concept bring their vision to life related to physical space. So Ian, you have a deep background in hotel, hospitality, food and beverage. You've done a lot of things in life so far.
Yeah, I know it's bad. It's bad, isn't it? It's just like
No,
floating
it's
water.
good. It's an adventure.
Wherever that stream's going, it just takes me. Who knows? Who knows where it's going to end up?
Okay, so really quickly, there's a co-working conference called Juicy. I don't know if you've been to the one in London. They come to London
Once. The first time I was there, but I haven't been
in a while.
I know, and you're in Chicago this year, right?
So Juicy's in Chicago this year. Yeah. And they had the Hoxton as one of the hotels. And I was trying to book and they're out of rooms. And I was like, Stormy, just, it would be my dream come true to stay at the Hoxton. Find me a room.
I'll tell you what we'll do at the end of the call. I have a special code that's for life for any Hoxton hotel. So I'll give you my special code, but don't share it. Don't share it.
Don't say it.
Charge a subscription and make people pay you for it, and then we'll do what you want. I don't know.
Wait,
right? We didn't say that.
They magically produce a room if you produce this code.
If you get the code, you can get up to 50% off a room. It depends on the occupancy level.
Have a room, though. I got the sense they were full.
Yeah, they normally are full.
They've got rooms.
For over the counter
rooms. They've got plenty of rooms.
Maybe they just ran out of Stormy's rate then.
Yeah.
So Ian, I can't remember if you know this. I operated my first co-working space in the West Loop in Chicago, not far from the Hoxton, but it was like the meatpacking district. Like literally the guys were driving the carts around like with the meat on them when I first opened. And then I don't think the Hoxton, I'm trying to think if the Hoxton appeared while I was there. I don't think so, but I'd gone back and I was like, what happened to the West Loop?
It's completely changed, right?
It's so crazy. So I opened in 2012. And then I think Google put their headquarters, like a block and a half away from my space. And then everything started to pop up kind of around that. I mean, there was some stuff there. I'm trying to remember some of the funky, cool restaurants. But I had drinks with Mara. What'd you say?
Is it Gail Duck?
Oh, the girl. Wait, it's
Gail and the Duck.
Girl in the Fig. Is a famous chef, but lots of stuff. I mean, there was some funky stuff, but it was sort of like off the beaten path. Mm-hmm. And then I went in 2019. So my daughter was born in Chicago, but we moved when she was 1. So we went in 2019 and hung out and had drinks at the Hoxton with Mara. And I was like, oh my God, I love this place. It's so fabulous. I was just so taken by that building. So yeah, I want to hear all the things.
I miss it so much. I miss it so much. But yeah, the Hoxton opened, I think, 2019, March 2019.
Yeah, we must have been there just after. And to your point, it was hopping. It was just like jamming while we were there. It was so fun.
It does. And that's all about lobby culture, which is something we can talk a little bit about because that really feeds in nice the whole kind of co-working and the working from piece. How lobby culture kind of started it. But yeah, the Hoxton Hotel. I mean, I love them. I'm no longer with the guys, but I love them so much, and I'm always championing them all the time. And I think they're just about to open up another site in Brussels, which is the third one, the third working from the Hoxton.
Yeah.
But I can get into that a little bit more. I think to help people understand or know, because Hoxton isn't that well known really in America. It's not that big. But the Hoxton Hotels set up back in for a while, but 2006 is when a guy called Sharan Pashrika took over the Hoxton in Shoreditch. It's only the one hotel at the time. And they were famous for doing £1 rooms, just as promotional things. I don't know what that's in dollars, but it's not $2. So I know it's probably $1 now. But anyway, so they set up and what the Hoxton was so good at was it was a hotel, but it didn't feel like a hotel because anyone could go into the lobby and you could go in there with a laptop and work away. You could go in there for cocktails or drinks in the evening. Also at the evening, the lights all changed, you know, and you had the restaurants all in there, and you had the DJs that would come up and start playing really cool, vibey music. And it was really something for all the local community. And that's how the Hoxton Hotels really started pushing their brand out there to the market. They were a local hotel community. That's what they built. So they used to then put the next hotels in areas which were about to be redeveloped. Hence, in point, you know, West Lip, as you'd say, or Jeff Shapak, if you know the guy, Shapak Partners, he would never want to say West Lip. He calls it Fulton Market. We originally...
Oh, got it. Yeah. You're right.
Yeah, he went mad when it was working from the West Loop, and he said, "Come on, guys, you can't be doing this to me. You've got to make it Fulton Market." And we listened, and it was Fulton Market. I was glad we did, but
much sexier than West Loop for sure.
Yeah, it sounds great, Fulton Market, and so that opened up, and of course, yeah, that lobby as you went in, and you said you loved it in there. That place is buzzing, and they just put that in an area which was going to be all redeveloped. And you look at Fulton Market now. I don't know, but I think I read something fairly recently that it's the most expensive real estate in Chicago now. It wouldn't have been like that 10 years ago. Could you imagine?
No, I mean, absolutely not.
Mental.
Absolutely not.
But great. So yeah, so the Hoxton Hotel, it is, going back on that, it's part of a company called Ennismore. Ennismore is like the umbrella company. It's the head office company. It's the company that I actually worked for, even though it was the Hoxton. And with underneath that brand, you had the Hoxton Hotels. You had Glen Eagles up in Scotland, which is a kind of golf resort, country resort. You had a number of different restaurants. And then I think just about 18 months ago or so, they merged with Accor Hotels.
Wow.
Yeah.
So all of the boutique hotels of Accor came under the Ennismore banner. And now you've got things like Joe and Joe, Mama Shelter, 25-hour hotels, you know, a ridiculous, massive list of boutique style hotels, of Hoxton being one of them. And the working from the Hoxton started off because they were building Southwark in London, and they were building Fulton Market, Chicago. Now, in the London side, they knocked down an office tower and rebuilt a hotel. But to get the licenses and to be able to do or get through a building control, a third of that hotel had to stay as office.
Interesting.
Right? So they had a choice. They had a choice at that point. What they could do was go to a provider and put one in, like any provider out there, and put it in. Or they could try and do their own thing. The Hoxton, the brand of the Hoxton, there's not really anyone out there, a partner that you could bring in, could sit in with them that well, because of the whole brand design, the interior design, everything they do, the company culture, the way they work. They thought, no, we've got to do our own thing. That's how I joined them, to actually create that concept for them, and put that out to the market. Now, when I say to create that concept for them, it wasn't really just me. I had a massive team of Ennismore geniuses that were around me to help me with it. So I had
a dream come true. How many folks in the industry would like
that, you know, the thing is, what I always say, you know, this is not hard, it's easy. It's really easy to do. If someone's got a bucket load of money, they're just going to give it to you to say, listen, just go and do this. There's the money. Don't worry about it. No, fundraising, forget it. There's the cash. Just go and build it. Hey, if it doesn't work, we just change it all into offices or bedrooms. It doesn't really matter. We're just going to do what we want to do. So yeah, it was great. So all I had to do really was tell them what we were going to do, how we were going to do it. That was going to fit in with a Hoxton. I had the interior design team with me already. So I had my own interior designers. I had my own project managers. I had an architect. I had the whole tech team from the hotels putting the tech piece together. And all I had to do was kind of coordinate all these things together, because they were going off in silos, having their conversation here. They were talking over there. Someone was talking over here. They're all going to do all their own wonderful things, but no one knew how we were going to bring it all together. And of course, no one else knew what the other people were saying. So I came on board, said, listen, this is what we're going to do. This is how we're going to put it out there, listening to what they really need and what they want. And then they opened, and then that's it. We got going. So that's how we got working from the Hoxton going. The name Working From wasn't the name to start with. Hox Works, really boring. That's one of the first names they came up with.
It doesn't really go with
no, it was a lazy
push.
Yeah. It was a lazy push on that one. And Working From when that came up, it was a girl called Romley that come up with that. She was the brand director working with me. She came up with working from, and I wasn't too sure on the name working from, because well, working from where?
Yeah.
Where are you working from? I'm working from. What?
Right.
Where? So, so
That's funny.
Yeah, exactly. We went on ages just laughing at that, and you can imagine the dry sense of
It's like
humor.
a Seinfeld episode. Where are you
It was just
working from?
and if you're in a really devilish mood, you could drag that out for half an hour. So, but when the name working from come up, it was working from the Hoxton, it was working from your home, it was working from your kitchen, it was working from your bath, wherever you wanted to work from, it was there. So once that had been established, that really informed then the interior design team how to really finish off the interiors, make it like home, make it as close to a home, but a really nice home that you can come up with. And they had the back theme of Mad Men, the series. So it's that kind of, is it 50s, 60s sort of feel to it? Is that really Mad Men? So that was that was in the interior guys' heads. That's what we want to try and keep it to, make it a bit like home. I came in with the whole architectural side of things, saying we need to put this there, that there. We want these kind of desks, these kind of chairs. It got crazy to a point where when I joined them, they were even thinking of designing their own chairs, their own office chairs. We had people trying to make office chairs for us. And we wasted 6 to 8 months on that journey. And it was never going to work.
That's what happens when you have somebody gives you all the money.
All the money.
Make your own chair.
I mean, they looked great, but you know what? They didn't work. So we ended up then going with task chairs. And the beautiful thing was I had a head office, a nice big head office that I could work from, and we could test things out. So we were getting all these different chairs in, putting them all around the building. Someone's normal chair just disappeared one day. This other lovely looking chair just came in its face. What's this? They would sit at it for 5 days and then it would disappear again. They were upset. So we knew finally we got the right kind of chairs in there, and then we put it all together that way. It was fun. It was fun playing around with the music, how we were going to put the music within the space. So at Christmas, of course, you had the person that was always putting on the Christmas songs. But we had a particular person that was putting on Christmas songs like November the 15th. Christmas out. I was Christmas out 5 days later.
Now, after Halloween, Christmas music, it's,
Oh, really? It's okay. It's okay, is it?
Do you know what's happening in my house right now is my daughter set our Alexa, who she renamed Ziggy, to play Christmas music every night at 7:00. And we cannot figure out how to turn it off. It's not a routine. It's like Ziggy was taken over. And so every night the Christmas music turns on and we all go, stop the music.
I know exactly the type of person, so this person that put on the Christmas music, they hid the iPad in a drawer somewhere. No one could find it. No one could change it. The reason why I'm saying this part is because it's a knock at the door. But the reason why I'm saying this is because I really wanted to get the music level right as well. The right kind of music. So obviously white noise, brown noise, pink noise. I wanted pink noise to put people in a state of concentration, high-low frequencies, playing that through the head office and just seeing if people were working better and going that way. Can I quickly go and tell the guy that's knocking at my door to leave a parcel?
Yes.
You can totally do that. Gio and I will talk about what is pink.
Hold on a second.
I know Gio wants to know what pink and brown noise are.
Well, funny enough, you say that, but I actually have a noise machine or noise app on my phone. And I flip through the different, I either use white, pink, or brown.
When? In what context?
Like when I travel.
Yeah.
Like, for example, if I'm in New York, right? I mean, there's a ton of noise outside all night long. And so
for sleeping. You use it for sleeping. Yeah.
Yeah. Or if I'm in a hotel where if I'm by the elevator, they know to if I stay at Marriott, they know not to put me by the elevator, but there's sometimes that there's stuff going on. And so we were talking about, she's like, I'm sure Giovanni's dying to know what pink noise is, but it's so interesting as you flip through the app to hear each different tone, and just the overall sound of it is pretty amazing. And the science behind of some people, I guess, react differently to different noises, right? Some people it's relaxing, some people it's the opposite, right? And so it's so interesting how they even use noise with prisoners to try to control their overall mindset, right? The light and the noise, all
Yeah,
those
that's
things.
interesting.
It's crazy.
That's interesting.
How
You're
do we
probably
go,
going to
how do we
post a
go
bit.
from the Hoxton to prison? I'm not, I'm not sure.
Well, he's back. He's back.
Okay, so Ian, so your vision for the work component, was that partly from Neuhaus? Like where, because your background is not work, it's hospitality food, which is so
Yeah,
exciting right now.
it's
But
not
yes,
work at all. It's not work at all. I'm the latest person you're ever going to come
no,
across. At work, no, no, it does. It comes from Neuhaus. So, yeah, all right. A little bit quick about my background. I don't want to bore anybody on this one, but yeah, it's really all hospitality and lots of different kind of hospitality, from hotels, nightclubs, restaurants, quick service restaurants, fine dining restaurants, members clubs, all kind of mixed together over many, many years of just going from one thing to another to do this. So one day, a recruitment friend of mine, a recruitment agent, called me up and said, Ian, I've got this unbelievably fantastic company that I'm recruiting for, and I really need to speak to you about this opportunity. So I met with him because I'm always interested and intrigued to see what some people are going to say. And it was Neuhaus. At the time, they were based in New York. They opened up in 2013, and they were just about to open their first site in LA. So this was 2015, and the role was general manager for London. They were due to open up in London, so I got the role for that. But I just, during the course of the interview, I just totally fell in love with what they were trying to achieve. You see, what I had here, and my background, lots of really late night operations and crazy stuff. You can imagine what that can be like. And multifunctional kinds of operations as well. So it was like members clubs where there was a nightclub in the basement. This is what I used to do. And then I'd have butler style fine dining services in private rooms on other floors, all trying to mix this with the kitchen operations all together just to make sure it's until 5 a.m. in the morning. That's the kind of rubbish I was involved in. So when someone told me, Ian, you can do the same kind of thing, but during the day, Monday to Friday, you can be out of there by 6 p.m. I'm thinking, are you joking? There's no way this sort of thing doesn't exist. So Neuhaus, yeah, a members club, but for work. And they would say their term was a collaborative workspace and members club. That was really how they would position this. And it was brilliant. It was a beautiful kind of members club style, fantastic programming that they would do to really engage with their member base. They had offices, they had dedicated desks, they had what they would call their gallery membership or their noir membership, which was their hot desking membership and their evening membership. And all the programming events that they really curated really well and videoed, recorded fantastically and would stream out. I just fell in love with what this was. But that ended because they didn't open in London. But I couldn't get this. I know they didn't open in the end. Something happened. I don't know, I should say here, but they didn't open in the end. Money, probably.
Yeah.
What they did was really plush and really fancy. It didn't open, but I had the bug. I couldn't get this out of my head.
Now that you'd seen this possibility, you were like, this is
it.
it.
So I thought, no, I'm not going back into what I was doing before. I'm going to stay in on this. I don't care if I end up living on the streets. I'm just going to be doing this until I find really what I want to do. And I just studied that market. I started studying the office market a lot more. And I just saw this massive gap. You had this huge gray area. You had members clubs, social members clubs, Soho House and all these kind of things. And then you had the office market. But for me, in my mind, from what I could see, from my limited experience of it back then, I couldn't see anything in the middle of all of that. It was just a big gray void. So I thought, I need to put out there on the market this kind of members club feel where you charge memberships, not square footage price, and it's by the desk, these kind of things. No contracts, because it's going to be all about the service. They can leave whenever they want, put us under pressure. Real serious programming where we really engage in the mind of the people so they can be really creative in their work if we do that. And that's what I really want to do. So I just stayed in that field. And then eventually I went off to India and I developed a club in India, in Mumbai, called the A. And that was with a guy that was a member of the Neuhaus, New York, and he wanted to do something similar in Mumbai, where he had his family, originally in Mayfair in London, but they somehow didn't call me, but they got me to go to India. I'm not good in heat. So I was out in India for 18 months developing this club for them. It's a fantastic club that was developed along the same kind of lines, but I really wanted to come home. And the friend of mine from Neuer House, who was the chief people person from Neuer House, moved to London with her husband, who happened to be the COO of Ennismore. Okay. So Lauren found out that they were going to not only open up all these extra hotels that Kevin had to control and somehow deal with, they were now going to do co-work. You know, they didn't have a clue. And Lauren said, Kevin, just bring Ian over and do this. And I was so happy to come home. Came home and worked for a fantastic company, and we developed the concept for those guys. And what it is now is what you've got. You know, you've got the 2 locations, 100% full, which I suppose is fairly normal. I mean, London's going to be full anyway. Most places are.
London is, yes. My understanding is all the high quality locations are full. And that comes, Gio, we're doing some work with Avis and Young and the brokers in the UK, and they were like, yeah, the inventory is pretty sparse right now in central London anyway, but there's a lot happening kind of on the, what they call it, the donut.
Yes.
Yeah.
The commuter belt kind of thing.
Yep.
Yeah. I see what you mean. The M25 circle, which is the motorway, everybody. That's the motorway going around the outskirts of London. Fantastic motorway. Not really. It's traffic like anything, but it was a good idea at the start. It was fine when there wasn't that many cars on the road when it was built in the 80s, whenever that was, but not now. So yes, open those 2 locations, and then that stopped with those guys for me because of COVID and all these things. My next opening for them wasn't until 2023. We were in 2020 at the time. I had general manager in London, general manager in Chicago, the full teams, everything was set up and going. So my next thing was miles away. So unfortunately, I had to move on from that. But they gave me a free lifetime membership, which is really cool. So I go there whenever I want. Don't tell anyone. They'll probably stop it now if they see this.
So stop talking about it, because we need our code.
Yeah, edit. Oh no, that code's forever. I'll give you that code at the end, guys. So you can have that whenever you want. It's good seeing the background there of you, Gio, because it just reminds me of the hotel and everything. That's oh, thanks. No, you can. No, it's fine. It's cool. Yes, so that's where.
So I still remember when I went to see you at this location, and it was so funny, Jamie. You'll get a laugh because it was before we started the podcast, and I forgot why we were there. Oh, we were there for an AY Flex Team deal.
Wait, this was where?
In Chicago.
Okay. Yeah.
And
well, the Hoxton opened in 2019. Ian, how long were you in Chicago?
I was there every 6 weeks for about 2 weeks at a time from late 2018.
Okay.
So the hotel opened in March and the co-working piece opened in November of 2019. So we were like 6-7 months behind the actual opening of the hotel. And it must have been, I'm presuming, it was around that time because, yeah, Gio, you came up, didn't you? And we toured you around and we were open.
Yeah.
I think we were waiting at that moment in time. Yeah.
Yeah, Jamie. So it was so funny. So I walked in the door, and you know, the actual co-working space is above the lobby, right? So you actually check in at the front desk, and I still remember checking in, and she's like, "Oh my God, you're Giovanni," and I was like, "Hi." She's like, "I follow you on LinkedIn," and I was like, "Okay."
Really?
Yeah, it was hilarious. And so Bobbenberg was with me, and he just kind of looked like, "What in the world?" And so it was funny because Ian came down and he took us upstairs, and it's absolutely beautiful space. It's incredibly curated. And it was funny because some big guy walks by, and we look over, and he's like, "Oh yeah, he's a Chicago Bull." And so it was just interesting to see just the interaction, the dynamics of people up there. And I mean, truly it is like a social club. Right. I mean, that's really the feel you get. They have the food and beverage up there that the hotel's able to cater into and all those things. But I mean, it was an incredible experience. I thoroughly enjoyed you spending time with us that day.
It was good. It was good. And it was very fortuitous because it happened to be the time that I was in Chicago just for those brief weeks each time, and you happened to be there. We already knew each other on LinkedIn, and then it just happened, didn't it? And it was good fun. It was good fun until Michael told me he was a Spurs and Tottenham Hotspur supporter. That wasn't so great.
that part bothered you a bit.
Yeah, it was terrible. I nearly charged him for his coffee after that.
The social club concept is not that common here.
Really?
Totally. And I think it is brilliant. And I don't know if I was going to make a prediction. I think the Hoxton style, like the working from, eventually, I feel like that's where we're going to go, because who wants to leave their house to go to a boring office?
That's
Not
exactly
me.
it.
So this might be a me problem. I just want to go sit in the Hoxton with the Chicago Bulls and
This is exactly
get
it.
my cappuccino delivered to my desk and do my best work. And
there you go.
Yeah, it's such an experience. And even the social club concept, period, I think is so brilliant. And we just don't, country clubs, right? I mean, Gio, correct me if I'm wrong, but it's like the country clubs are a very specific vibe, right? And a very specific segment of people who join those, and that probably kind of but that's not like in every person, it's not accessible. And you wouldn't go there to work. It's just different. So this whole like social club concept, it's not common here. And I don't like, I can think of so many good use cases for
Well,
that.
also the cost, right? I mean, the cost would be part of even if you just get a social membership, not even a golfing membership here, it's astronomical, right? And,
Yeah.
There's a couple here in town, and there's people that go work from there. But the interesting part is they actually have men and women's lounges, so they're not actually together. And
Really?
so it's crazy. So I've got buddies that get together at in the men's lounge of one of the country clubs, and literally
No.
around, and it's just guys watching golf or whatever, and having their meetings, or just
smoking cigars.
So
Talking about boy stuff.
That's the completely different thing here is to understand it's inclusive. It's
Right.
totally inclusive, right? So these that would be very much like the kind of old school kind of members club, which really is, there's really not really any space for those kind of places anymore. It's all about inclusive and community driven, local community driven. And it's a place where you really must back the local businesses as well. So you really champion what they do, and you try and bring value to that whole local community. So for me, it's not about the four walls of the building. That's part of it, but it's also about that whole sphere around the building. How are you going to activate that area, get people talking about what you're doing, and so they feel they can just walk straight into that lobby, open up a laptop. Maybe they've even taken a coffee from another place over the road. That's kind of naughty, but all right, it happens. But it does happen. It does happen, and we've had it happening before. I can tell you, it's not cool, but it happens. But at least they're in there using the free Wi-Fi. We term them as the freeloaders. I mean, that's how we like to, lovingly term these people that will come in there and use the lobbies for free. But you know what it does? It activates that community. What the people will then do in the hotels, they've been in these fantastic lobbies, and the next stage for them was to move into the working from the actual professional piece that we did upstairs in each place, because the Hoxton would say they were unofficially doing co-working since 2006, so they decided to make it official. That's the kind of line they pushed this down. But by also activating those lobbies with the local community, you know what? If you live in Chicago, you don't need to really stay in the hotel, obviously, because you live in Chicago. But if you travel to one of the other cities where there is a Hoxton, the chances are you're going to check it out and say, you know what? I've been there in their social spaces. I really want to see what the rooms are like, and you become a fan. You get an emotional connection to that brand. That's what makes it work. So it's about being inclusive. You have to bring the people in. Everyone has to feel that they belong to the space. You work that with good programming events, things that are going to feed their curiosity. If you can feed someone's curiosity, it's going to fuel their creativity. If you fuel the creativity, they're going to do their best work. But you need that kind of interaction, that mix of people to make this really come together, and really interesting, deep conversations, talks, program, those kind of things to really pull it together. And that's how that community piece comes together with the Hoxton working from. And I could talk about that forever, but people would fall asleep or just press the stop button or the leave or whatever.
So Ian, I'm curious about I'm curious about what's next for you, but also what do you think is next for, like, what's the next iteration of, workplace? Do
I
we,
think, yeah, I think that what we have, there's two things I think on that. We're definitely going to see a lot more hotel operators coming into the space if they've got boutique hotels, not the large chains, because I don't think their brands are strong enough to really hold that. But I think those boutique ones are going to start taking in space and working that way because it works for them. It's just a natural thing to do. It's a natural add-on service for them. So I think you're going to see more hotel operators doing it. And truth, there's plenty out there that are doing it. Ruby Hotels, Moxie have something, Graduate Hotels, Wojo with from McCaw. There's quite a few already out there that do these kind of things. So that's one. I think you're going to come away from that traditional lease model. I mean, I don't understand it because that's not my game. It's not what I've ever done, but I've never really got. And when people ask me, well, all right, yeah, this office has got 6 desks in it, but what's the square footage? I always think, well, why are you asking me the square footage? It's 6 desks. You can have 10 people working there. I don't really care as long as they're not all crammed in there together at the same time. It's 6 desks. You pay for the 6 desks. And you know what? It's monthly. If you want to leave next month, that's cool. No worries. So I think you're going to come up, for me, I'd say you're going to come away from those lease models, those year contracts or whatever, 5-year contracts or whatever people do. And it's going to become much more discerning because the more you get these other operators coming in, putting their own brand, there's more choice. When there's more choice, the members or the customers start to know what's out there more. And they become more discerning. They'll have their favorite brand that they'll go to. So then it's going to come a little bit doggy away, maybe. But I think the key on that is going to be, you've really got to work that service level. We talk about hospitality. Hospitality is just the art of being hospitable. Anybody can do it. But the skill set really is the eye, which is in the detail, which leads to the service. So if you get that service level really right, and then you're so confident on your service, you're saying you can leave whenever you want to leave. No problem. But we know you're not going to find a better space. But you can leave whenever you want to leave. They're not going to leave. But what that does for you, it means that you have to engage so much more with your member base, because if they can leave whenever they want, you haven't tied them down, you're engaging all the time, you're finding out what they really want, you're finding out what they really need. You're jumping ahead of the curve so much that everybody starts to follow what you're doing because you're really understanding that member base. So that's where I think we're going to go. We're going to get many more hospitality service-led brands into it. Hotels will take into it. I think, of course, we come away from that lease model and we go much more flex. Within that, you're going to become much more imaginative with your membership tiers, how you mix an office with dedicated desks, with casual membership, with nighttime or evening social membership, how you pull all that together. The services that you throw on top for that are going to be interesting as well. And the latest things that I'm getting involved in, I'm doing freelance stuff because it just kind of seemed to fit, because some people are just saying, we want to do something. And so I just have a chat and we see where we go. But I'm working with a few different founders right now, different guys. And they're from the traditional kind of restaurant backgrounds. They've got restaurants, chains of restaurants. And they want to say, listen, we want to do multifunctional spaces where we can have dwell time, where we can have a really cool lounge. We want co-working mixed into that. And we want food elements here, but really creative food elements, so they can come and take their food from them. They can go and sit wherever they want. Tech within that place is becoming massive. So these guys want their own apps. They want NFC tags on desks so that you can just put your phone and tag, get the menu and deliver straight to your table. And they're trying to have it as well so they can pay remotely as well. So not really using your phone, but when you come out of the Wi-Fi connection, the charge goes on then. So that's what I'm trying to create for a few people right now. So I'm getting restaurant people coming into the game, trying to look at it that way, but multifunctional, dynamic, multifunctional spaces where co-working plays a piece, but not the whole thing. That's what I'm seeing.
So what are you most excited about for your next ventures? I know you're doing some freelance work, but clearly you're a very passionate person. I mean, what is it that you enjoy the most?
I really love talking to people that are trying to create something that's really challenging. So for me, there's 2 things there. One, I'd love to push my own brand out there one day. But normally people give me the money to do it for them. It's I've got to go out there and try and figure out how to get that piece myself. So I'd like to put my own kind of local thing out there where I'm targeting local high streets and that kind of thing. That's a concept that I've had in my mind for a while. So I'd like to push my own thing out there if I can. But that's my kind of passion project, I suppose. What I'm really looking at now as well is the freelance stuff that I'm doing for other people. It's really interesting. There's a lot of really cool things that conversations that are happening with me right now with things that might not open until 2024 because they're long burn. They're really big projects that they want to try and create. But it's interesting. So I'm enjoying that side of things as well. And then there might be, who knows, there may be an opportunity coming up sometime soonish where I might go back into full time with some company because they want to really push on a membership kind of model out there onto the market. But it's not something I can really say too much about now. So there's a few things. But for me, it's really much, much more about understanding or having a real kind of bond with the people that I'm working with. For me, how they want to push this out there is crucially important. If I don't like the vibe of what they're trying to do, I don't want to talk. I don't want to talk. I just want to have fun doing this and just push things out there, which are really nice for the people. For me, it's all about, how we have our own internal culture within our company that we will create and how that actually impacts on the companies that come and take space from us. That real deep thing. I want to get that real deep feeling so they feel really nice. Friday night to Sunday night, whichever day we're on there, they don't feel any different because this whole work-life balance is completely gone. It's now life balance. And I just want people to feel really good in the space. So it's about mixing with the kind of people that want to achieve the same kind of stuff. And that's really where I'm at. So it's really good. The freelancing is really cool right now. I'm enjoying it. I'm definitely becoming a hermit, working from home too much. You can tell I'm talking like crazy. I haven't talked to anyone for a month.
You need to join a co-working space.
That's it. I need what I need to do, don't I?
I've got a code I'll give you at the end.
Exactly.
Geo, that's a good one. Thanks.
Wait, so before Geo dives into more personal questions, I have business model questions.
Go on.
The food and beverage piece of it, I think that is, this is why I think it's interesting. I mean, you're kind of saying like the hotels are going to drive a lot of this, or the restaurants, because they've already spent how many hundreds of dollars per square foot. They've got the designers, they've got the, aesthetic, and they have the food and beverage. And so mixing in the work is not that hard. But if you take like office and you try to work the rest of it in, it's expensive. Nobody knows how to do it. So I know you don't come from an office background, but from a business model perspective, like does the Hoxton, is it like a profit center, the workspace, or is it, okay, so you designed it with that intent?
Oh, 100%. I mean, that's making, let's say, working from the model there, we were going to get to steady state within 3 years. They actually did it in like 18 months with COVID. The business model there, you're looking at per square foot revenue around about £250 per square revenue, which is pretty average for that kind of model, but it worked very well. And if you actually look at it this way, let's say we've got a 6-person office, and let's say it's 220 square foot, whatever that is.
Not that we talk about square foot.
We talk about that, right? Whatever that is. That's actually pretty much the same size as a bedroom, right? Now, we were charging something along the lines of, say, £4,600 a month on the office space. And around about, if we were charging roughly £200 or so a room at that time, depending on what the actual going rate is or what the rack rate is right then. But back then it was around about £200 a room per night. If they're around about 80% occupancy, they'll be pulling in the same roughly the same revenue, right? So when you crunch it that way, it made so much logical sense to actually say, let's do the same sort of thing. But yeah, all right, we'll add on top the F&B spend. Yeah. We'll add on top different types of membership. So with the membership that we'll do, we'd have the office membership, which was 6 people in an office or 10 people in an office. We would do the dedicated desk office. That's your desk, no one else is at a certain rate. But then we would do the co-working or the hot desk membership. And then it was about how can we sell that membership in the right way to flip it the right amount of times to make the revenue on it.
Yep.
So once you get the models and you get the split and those things correct, that's your primary revenue driver. You add F&B spend on top of that. If you get it right and you create the F&B correctly, you pull that into it as well. You sell evening memberships too on top of everything, so you've got a social hit going on as well. So yeah, £250 per square foot. If you look at a typical high-end restaurant, they might be around about £400 per square foot, that revenue that'll make. So you can see the F&B makes good money, but it's transient. It's transient revenue. You don't know every day you're going to get it.
Right, exactly. You got to wake up every day and hope it comes in. Yep.
You sell your membership, technically speaking, if you're doing a good job, you're going to get it every single month continuously because it's on direct debit or ACH, whatever it is you do out there to pull the money in. So yes, in that sense, it worked. It worked well. And that's why they're doing more. On top of it, you know, the Hoxton, they own the buildings. So there was no rent there on top of that piece.
Right. Yeah.
And I think that's the key piece, right? Is anytime my clients or anyone I interact with ask me questions, that's exactly where I go to. Is that's my preferred model, is where you own the real estate, you're paying essentially yourself to just gain equity, whether it be equity by paying off your existing principal payment or equity from the value of, I mean, just think about how much that land around Jamie's old space in the meatpacking district of Chicago has increased from 2012.
Oh, Gio, if only I had
you were still there.
That I mean, I could have bought the building I was in.
Yeah.
I didn't know. I just didn't know. I would not be talking to you right now. I'd be like, I don't know where I'd be.
You'll be on the journey. Yeah.
I probably would be talking to you still, because what else would I do? But
no, but it's true. And it's definitely there. And I think with that, then, you know, you've got to get that model right. You've got to get, if you're going to lease a building, it does seem crazy to me that you would, if you're going to do co-working, it does seem crazy that you'd go and lease a city center building, which would be normally, you know, an enterprise company would take, you know, a Cat A fit out and all these kind of things. For me, it's more about Cat C fit outs, getting lower price per square foot if you're going to lease, so that you can put in the right kind of models to make it work for you. Because again, what I do is I tend to put in hospitality teams as well. So your overhead cost on the staff is higher with the things that I'll do.
Yep.
So you've got to get that, you've got to get those fixed costs right at the very beginning. If you don't, you know, you're going to struggle a little bit, unfortunately, I would think. And of course, yeah, management agreements, that's going to be another big thing, isn't it?
Yeah. And I mean, I think back to London, I mean, it is so much further along the market is from the flex side, not only from the product types, but also from the buy-in from owners and operators and the user, right? Whatever that is, whether it be enterprise or individual. And so I think that's what we're seeing here in the US, is we're starting to see more adoption from landlords to understand that flex is the future. And so I think it'll be a lot of fun to start seeing more and more of that happen. Hopefully that brings you back to the US side at some point.
Honestly, I've got
something
to.
over here.
I've got to come back. I honestly love Chicago so much. Really, I mean, out of the cities I've been to, that's one that I really, really liked. Really like. The people there are just lovely, so real.
Nice. It's a great food. It's a great city. It's a really great city. So, Ian, do you think hotels or restaurants, like as they continue to do this, will they do the working from model where they do it themselves, or how do you think that'll play out in terms of who's operating?
Yeah, that's interesting. I think, I think it makes more sense that they do their own model because it'll fit in with their brand. I think that really comes down to how strong is their brand, how strong is their brand image. I think that's the real key thing. How protective are they of their actual brand? I think that's crucial right now. Again, sorry for saying it, but the Hoxton's brand, and I keep talking about the Hoxton, but that's, you know, that's really where we're basing it on, because obviously they've done it probably before anyone else really, I mean, properly. The brand team there were super strong storytellers. Everything that they do, so choreographed, you know, that it's just spot on with everything, that it fed everything else. So for me, the brand always feeds everything else. It breeds, it feeds into the interior design. it feeds into how I'm going to put an operation together, because I've got a brand thing that I've got to stay true here. And they're going to say certain things to me and say, listen, Ian, we want to do this within the operation. And normally I would say, are you nuts? There's no way I can make that happen. What are you talking? But after a while, you take on the challenge and you figure out a way to make this crazy thing happen that they want to do, and you do it, and you stay true to the brand. So if that hotel company's got a strong brand and they think that it can diversify into that, then go for it and do it. You've got others though that seem to be taking on partners to actually put co-working elements into what they do. So there seems to be a mixture between the two. I think I would always say the best thing, do your own one, because it's going to stick to your brand. It's going to stick to what you want to do, and it's only going to strengthen it. So I would say put in that, the hard yards, create your own concept, and do your own one. I'd always say that.
So with all this passion, what do you do on a personal basis? What do you love?
Me, it's just the typical boring things that everyone else probably does. So
well, you were pretty passionate when Kloppenberg was going against your team. So
what's that all about? Yeah, honestly, I mean, calling it soccer, one thing. Come on, it's not. It's football. But it didn't surprise me. No, all right. So my team is Arsenal. It's Arsenal, and they are top of the league right now. So the Tottenham fans are there. I love listening to an upset Tottenham fan on the radio. It just makes my day. It just makes me glow inside. It's just, how can my day get any better? I'm driving to a train station. I'm listening to some really upset Tottenham fan on the radio, and I'm glowing inside.
How often do you get to
someone else's pain? That's nice, Ian.
Yeah, I know.
How often do you get to football games?
I don't. A friend of mine used to have season tickets there to Arsenal. So I used to jump in on one of those season tickets. But no, I'll watch it on the TV when I can. I don't watch too much other games, just my team. Apart from that, I love. I suppose anyone loves going to the gym and training, but I'll do that most days. And a year ago, I started doing cold showers every morning.
Oh God!
Like cold shower, like
really freezing.
Like a cold plunge.
No, I haven't got any. I haven't got the opportunity to plunge. I haven't got anything in my garden I can do that. So it's just a cold shower. So I do that every day, and it's got to the point now where it's. I feel like I've got to do it because I've been doing it for a year, and I don't want to stop now. And I don't enjoy it. I mean, who enjoys that? It's horrible.
No, my girlfriend was doing it for a while. I'm a CrossFitter, and she was into the whole like Wim Hof, like
yes, it's Wim Hof
shower thing. Yeah, and I was like, no, not doing it.
I struggle every morning with it. I struggle every morning with it, but that's. I mean, yeah, most of my spare time is just figuring out ways of torturing myself with a cold shower in the morning and then going to a gym and then ruining it with a coffee and cake straight after. Why not? Yeah.
I tell people I work out so I can eat what I want.
That's it. Yeah. It doesn't work. It doesn't work. You don't get anywhere. No.
Well, no, you can't outwork your diet, right? That's why
it's the most.
That's why Jade refuses to open her goldfish.
Exactly.
I'm going to talk about goldfish on this podcast until she eats the goldfish I sent.
Okay, I'll bring the container for the next episode.
Ian's like, what is going on? What is he talking about?
Yeah, you just throw me there. You got a goldfish that you're going to eat?
Yeah, no, the like processed, the orange ones, or the flavor blasted cheddar.
Oh, okay.
They're like, maybe they don't even have them there. They eat less processed food in the UK.
Oh yeah. I try not to.
Exactly. That's right. We'd have to ask, how do you feel about Ted Lasso?
How do I feel about Ted Lasso?
Have you watched it?
No.
Okay. Season 3 starts tonight.
So no, I don't. That you throw me on that one. I don't even. No, I'm sorry, I can't.
So like Texan, what is he? A football coach, and then he gets recruited to run a soccer football team that is not doing
football team. So now it's two sports.
Just American football, which is different. So, yes, unfortunately we call it soccer in London. It's in London, right?
London.
It's such a good show. It's on what is it on? Apple TV.
Is it? No, I haven't seen that.
It's
What
so
is he
good. It's
managing?
so good. I'm gonna send you a link to it.
Yeah, do that. I'll check that out. I'll check that out. We had a guy called Jesse. I don't remember his surname, but he was managing a team called Leeds. He's an American guy. But in England, the managers don't last long most of the time. They really don't last long. It's a brutal game managing a football team over here.
Well, you just have to lose a couple games and you're out, right? I mean, the outrage of you fans.
That's it. Just lose. The thing is, though, they get paid out their contract, so maybe they do it on purpose.
Oh, interesting.
Yeah.
Well, you guys are so passionate that they literally have to put you in different sections with fences in between. I mean, the games I've been to in Europe or even South America are incredible. Like literally, if you're a home team, you go through this entrance. If you're an away team, you go through this entrance. And then there's a fence with security and police officers. And I'm just like, I mean, what happened to good old healthy competition? No. I'm going to yell at you and throw stuff at you and gloat because your team lost on my way to work in the morning, like you said.
And on top of that, you'll get the obscene gesture coming your way as well. Plenty of times you'll see that on the TV. We won't go into details of that, but you get that a lot. It's brutal. It's dangerous. It's dangerous to go to a football game in England. You just don't know what's going to happen. You really don't.
So are you a World Cup person? I mean, will that be a good excuse for you to come to the US?
No. I wasn't really too much into it. Kind of gets in the way, and especially this World Cup, they put it right in the middle of the actual season, so it kind of wrecked it. It's normally at close season times. Obviously, August kind of time they put it on, but putting it on in December, especially when my team was doing so well at that time, I didn't want it to stop, so I had the World Cup in the middle. I watched it where I could, but I wasn't that engaged. I wasn't that engaged in it, but it was fine. Did you guys watch it? Jamie, you're looking so bored right now.
No, so Gio and I are both football players, and I coach, I referee kids, but I don't. So I did watch a little of it. I just am not a watcher in general, and I suspect Gio is also doesn't watch things. That's when we get.
I just can't sit. I mean,
no, exactly.
I want to be able to. Here's my problem. Like when I played, like consistently, if I was hurt, I couldn't even go to the game because I would keep my cleats in the car, and before you know it, I'd be out there because I'm like, you bloody idiots, let me do it. See, you like the bloody part? See, right? I've had British coaches before, so I know how it works. But yeah, I mean, and that way with every sport, right? It's just. I love playing sports. I just hate sitting.
Yeah, I'm the exact same way. So no, that's why I was laughing. I do enjoy watching for a little bit, but I don't have the attention span for it. Yeah,
I get that. That's why I would only really watch my team play, and the rest of them I'm not really that interested. There's always something else to do, right? There's always something else to do. So yes, I'll watch my team play. That's as far as my level of watching sport really goes. Apart from that, I'll just try and as you get old, you're always trying to figure out the best way to keep yourself healthy and fit or whatever, and it never seems to work. But so I'll torture myself with that, and I'll just carry on with my day. And that's my boring life, guys. That's what it is. It's just
the life of Ian Miner.
Yeah.
Well, Ian, thank you for taking the time to chat with us today. I was super looking forward to this conversation, and it 100% delivered. We gotta go to the UK. We should do a live series.
Well, here's a little teaser, and I may get in trouble for it, but I won't give details because I don't know details. But I may or may not have been speaking to Liz Elam yesterday, and there may or may not be a date set for Juicy London already.
Oh, nice. We should go.
That'll be a good excuse to come see you.
Yeah.
Well, we'll do that. And listen, guys, I'll make sure you get the best rates for a Hoxton Hotel. How does that sound?
Yes. And if I'm there, we will have to coordinate to go watch a football game.
That's what I'm thinking. We'll tour some space. we'll watch a game.
Sounds great.
Love it.
This would be
Perfect.
brilliant. I'm hoping like we could talk forever. That's the thing. I quite often sometimes meet up with people from the industry and we sit and chat. We plan an hour,
And
and 3-4 hours has gone by and we're still talking. We're still talking about the industry and stuff. So yeah, I'd love to any other time you guys want to chat about other things, because I know I've probably rabbited on about
Well, you don't talk to anybody
irrelevant
else,
things.
so.
I don't talk to anyone else. That's the problem, guys.
go join a co-working space, but one, yeah,
Yeah, that's what I
one
need
that's
to do.
friendly and wants to talk to you. And yes, we will we'll hit you with another topic and have you on again. Looking forward to it. Thanks.
Guys, thanks so much, and thanks for getting up so early to do the talk for me. So you did well.